Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances and best to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you all for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Today Maharaj is not available, so we have HG Sridevi Mataji to give class for all of us today. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances all to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for taking up this service and enlightening us on this topic. So we are going to continue on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 11th chapter, verse number 25. Hare Krishna Mataji, please take over.
Thank you. Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my prostrated obeisances at your lotus feet, dear devotees. And please pray for me and give me your merciful blessings so that I may be empowered by you to do justice to this service that has been given to me. I'm just a tiny little jiva soul, prone to be, overcome by the three modes of material nature. So please bless me so that I can be able to do this service. Thank you so much. So we are continuing our reading of Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse number 25. And we will begin with the invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashta Praeshva Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we can see from the readings that we are doing, which is the chapter where Lord Krishna has returned to Dwaraka, and all the residents are greeting the Lord in great jubilation, and they're saying to the Lord, welcome, welcome, welcome. If not directly, then in their hearts they're saying like that. Why? Because the ladies cannot directly come. So we just saw in the previous verse that the ladies, what they went and did, they climbed up stairs onto their balconies in order to see the Lord, because that was the respectability they wanted to maintain. But in their heart of heart, they were welcoming the Lord, drinking his beautiful form in with their eyes. His enchanting, beautiful form was so satisfying to their hearts that they couldn't get enough of it. And in this verse, we will see this was not anything new. They had many times seen the Lord, but still it wasn't enough. This is the beauty of Krishna. Nityam nirikshamananam Yadapi dvarakaukasam na vitrupyanti drishyaha Sriyo dhamangam achyutam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The inhabitants of Dwaraka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, yet they were never satiated. Purport. When the ladies of the city of Dwaraka got up on the roofs of their palaces, they never thought that they had previously many times seen the beautiful body of the infallible Lord. This indicates that they had no satiation in desiring to see the Lord. Anything material seen for a number of times ultimately becomes unattractive by the law of satiation. The law of satiation acts materially, but there is no scope for it in the spiritual realm. The word infallible is significant here because although the Lord has mercifully descended to the earth, he is still infallible. The living entities are fallible because when they come in contact with the material world, they lack their spiritual identity. And thus the body materially obtained becomes subjected to birth, growth, transformation, situation, deterioration, and annihilation under the laws of nature. The Lord's body is not like that. He descends as he is, and is never under the laws of the material modes. His body is the source of everything that be, the reservoir of all beauties beyond our experience. No one, therefore, is satiated by seeing the transcendental body of the Lord, because there are always manifestations of newer and newer beauties. The transcendental name, form, qualities, entourage, etc. are all spiritual manifestations, and there is no satiation in chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no satiation in discussing the qualities of the Lord, and there is no limitation of the entourage of the Lord. He is the source of all and is limitless. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami Niti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear devotees, again I offer my humble obeisances and plead with you to bless me so that I can do this service that has been given to me. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So, from this description, it is very clear that the ladies of Dwaraka were simply enchanted with the form of the Lord. And like we say sometimes, I couldn't get enough of that sight. So like this, they couldn't get enough of Krishna's beauty. They couldn't get enough of seeing him, no matter how many times they had seen him. And here it is said, because why? The Lord's form is transcendental. It's pure spirit. It's full of knowledge, full of bliss, and it's eternal. And Krishna declares this. It declares this himself to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, my transcendental form, I descend in my transcendental form, and although my transcendental form never deteriorates, the fools cannot understand me. We can take a look at that Bhagavad Gita. I'm mixing up two verses actually. Bhagavad Gita 4.6. In that, Krishna says, let me remember the translation. Although I'm unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I'm the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So Srimati, if you don't mind, can we pull up verse number 6 of chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita? In this, there's a really nice description in the purport where he said, where Srila Prabhupada is explaining, the Lord appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul keeps changing his body and transmigrates, but the Lord does not do so. Let's look further. It's about somewhere in between in the purport. Can you go down a little bit, please? I would say about the 10th line. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About the 8th line from the top. If you can highlight that.
What is the beginning of the line, Mataji?
The Lord says that he appears in his body. He does not change his body. Yeah, exactly. From that point on, if you can highlight. Yes. Yes, that's right. He appears in his own body. He does not change his body as the common living entity changes from one body to another. The conditioned soul may have one kind of body in this birth, but he has a different one in the next one. And he transmigrates from one body to another. The Lord, however, does not do so. Whenever he appears, he does so in the same original body by his internal potency. He appears exactly in his eternal body, uncontaminated by this material world, in his original eternal form, with two hands holding a flute. Although his body does not deteriorate like a material body, it still appears that Lord Krishna grows from childhood to boyhood, from boyhood to youth. But astonishingly enough, he never ages beyond youth. At the time of the Battle of Kurukshetra, he was a grandfather. He had many grandchildren at home. But in spite of that, he looked just like a young man, 20 to 25 years old. So you see, it makes it very clear. It is clear that in spite of his being in the material world, he is the same unborn, eternal form of bliss and knowledge, changeless in his transcendental body and intelligence. So Krishna's form never deteriorates because it's not a material thing. Our bodies deteriorate because they are material: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Kam mano buddhir evacha. Bhumi, nalo, apo, vayu. That means these five elements, material elements, make up the material body, and therefore it is subjected to deterioration and then finally annihilation. But the Lord's body is not like that. It is completely transcendental, completely spiritual, and completely full of bliss, eternality, and knowledge. And therefore, it is enchanting. It is full of six opulences. Krishna is beauty personified. He is beauty himself. He is not just the most beautiful. He has beauty is him. He is beauty. That's the Lord. He's all beautiful, all merciful, all famous, all strength, all wealth, all renunciation. Strength, wealth, beauty, wisdom, fame, renunciation is full of six opulences, and these opulences are ever increasing. He is not a static item. He is very dynamic, and all his potencies are ever increasing. Krishna is not the same. Moment to moment, he is changing. How? He's becoming more and more wonderful. He's becoming more and more beautiful. He's becoming more and more famous. He's becoming more and more rich. He's becoming more and more powerful. He's becoming more and more wise. Who can understand these things? This is Krishna. And his enchanting form, beautiful form, which is described in so many different literatures, is capturing the hearts and minds of all those who are seeing him, and they cannot get enough of him. That is the meaning of no satiation. That means you want more, more, more. I was looking up the word satiation. What does satiation mean? And it means that when you have had enough, you don't want any more. You had so much of, say, gulab jamun, and the hostess gives you more gulab jamun. You say, no, 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 I've had too much. Enough, enough, enough. Or you've had a very nice cool drink on a hot summer afternoon. Somebody makes a very nice watermelon juice, and they give you more, and they give you more, and they give you more. And finally you're bursting. And you say, no, no, enough, enough, enough. But Krishna's form is not like that. Krishna's beauty is not like that. No matter how much you see, you want more. That is why we all throng the temple in large numbers to see the beautiful form of the Lord, isn't it? Every day for Darshanarti, so many thousands of people come to see the Lord. Why? Because his beauty is ever increasing. It is ever new, and it is ever enchanting. So this is the form of the Lord. Beautiful, enchanting, mesmerizing, hypnotizing, fully eternal, full of knowledge, full of beauty, and therefore captivating the hearts and minds of everyone who saw him. Okay. He descends as he is and is never under the laws of material modes. His body is the source of everything that be, the reservoir of all beauties beyond our experience. And Krishna declares this also: I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajanti vam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all material and spiritual worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So it takes great wisdom to come to this point of becoming a devotee. So you're all very wise people. You have come to the right place. So Krishna is all in all. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the cause of all causes. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma declares, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindam Sarva Karana Karanam. You are the cause of all causes. From you, everything comes. So Krishna is the source of everything. He's a reservoir of all beauties beyond our experience. Therefore, no one is satiated by seeing the transcendental body of the Lord, because there are always manifestations of newer and newer beauties. Yamunacharya, after he came to Krishna consciousness, first he was a king. Before that, he was a very powerful sage. And then he got sidetracked by the illusory energy and becoming a king. He actually won half a kingdom in a debate. And then he got overpowered by the illusory energy and he became a gross sense gratifier. But somehow Krishna's mercy, one of his god brothers saved him. And then when he came to devotional service, he said, I'm just so captivated by the form of the Lord and I'm seeing ever new pleasures in him. So at the thought of sex, I just spit at the thought of sex desire. He just looked at all the old things he did as just a useless waste of time because he was feeling so much enchantment, so much pleasure, so much satisfaction, so much joy, so much bliss simply by contemplating the form of the Lord, by engaging in the Lord's service. And this is a king who's saying this. He's given up all opulences for devotional service. The transcendental name, form, qualities, entourage are all spiritual manifestation. And there is no satiation in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now, this is again declared in, I'm going to pull up this verse for us so that we can see how hankering for the Lord increases and there is no satiation. Let's go to verse 14, Canto 1, chapter 18, verse number 14, my dear Srimati. Here it is so beautifully described.
Chapter, Mataji?
Canto 1, chapter 18.
18, okay.
Verse number 14.
40. Yes, Mataji.
You will see such a beautiful verse coming up now. And the translation is so beautiful. Just see this. The personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all great living beings. And his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic powers as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Can anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, be ever fully satiated by hearing topics about him? So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying, how everyone, let's go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th line, which begins with, he is the reservoir of all enjoyment. Why is just one line before that explains, as the question, and why is the greatest of all living beings so much attached to the transcendental topics of Lord Krishna? Because he is the reservoir of all enjoyment. All rasas are in him. Everyone wants to relish some kind of taste in everything. But one who is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord can derive unlimited pleasure from such engagement. The Lord is unlimited, and his name, attributes, pastime, entourage, variegatedness are all unlimited. And those who relish them can do so unlimitedly and still not feel satiated. This fact is confirmed in the Padma Puran. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chidatvani iti rama padenaso param brahma vidiyate. The mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth. And therefore, the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Ram. There is no end to such transcendental discourses. In mundane affairs, there's the law of satiation. But in transcendence, there is no such satiation. Suta Goswami desired to continue the topics of Lord Krishna before the sages of Naimisharanya. And the sages also expressed their readiness to hear from him continuously. Since the Lord is transcendence and his attributes are transcendental, such discourses increase the receptive mood of the purified audience. Now, once for Janmashtami, Srila Prabhupada, this was in New Vrindavan, where we all met just recently. It was Janmashtami and it was midnight. Everybody was fasting whole day and they were waiting. And Srila Prabhupada started reading from Krishna book. And he went on reading and he went on reading and he went on reading, deriving more and more pleasure from recounting Krishna's pastimes. And one by one, the devotees were falling asleep. But Srila Prabhupada was becoming more and more enlivened. And then at one point, he looked up and he found so many people sleeping. He said, "You're all tired?" He asked like this, so innocently. But this is the pure devotee. He just relishes topics of the Lord, no matter what hour of the day it is, even if it's midnight, no matter if he's been fasting all day, all night without one drop of water. Because Srila Prabhupada is so in love with Krishna, he was just enjoying and relishing reading the pastimes hour after hour while everybody else was falling asleep. Of course, this is, very elevated personality. We cannot hope to imitate or understand, but just saying that this is how relishable the topics of the Lord are. Okay, let's go back to the verse. So there's no satiation in hearing the name of the holy name of the Lord, in hearing about the pastimes of the Lord. And I'm going to give you one more wonderful example of how the Lord arranges for Narad Muni to hanker more and more by giving him just a glimpse. And this is how Krishna enchants us. He gives us little taste here, little taste there. Then we want more and we want more and we want more of that taste. So let's go to chapter 6 of the first canto, verse number 22. My dear Shrimati, I hope I'm not annoying you. Canto 1, chapter 6, verse number 22. And here Narad Muni is explaining how he saw the Lord just one time and why the Lord arranged that. And the Lord is explaining that. There we go. Oh, virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from all material desires. So over here, why Krishna did that? See, this is such a beautiful verses here. This purport is so nice. We are going to read this purport. A living being cannot be vacant of desires. He is not a dead stone. He must be working, thinking, feeling, and willing. But when he thinks, feels, and wills materially, he becomes entangled. And conversely, when he thinks, feels, and wills for the service of the Lord, he becomes gradually freed from all entanglement. The more a person is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, the more he acquires a hankering for it. That is the transcendental nature of godly service. Material service has satiation, whereas the spiritual service of the Lord has neither satiation nor end. One can go on increasing his hankering for the loving transcendental service of the Lord, and yet he will not find satiation or end. By intense service of the Lord, one can experience the presence of the Lord transcendentally. Therefore, seeing the Lord means being engaged in his service, because his service and his person are identical. The sincere devotee should go on with sincere service of the Lord. The Lord will give proper direction as to how and where it is to be done. There was no material desire in Narad Muni. Yet, just to increase his intense desire for the Lord, he was so advised. So you see, my dear devotees, how Krishna, in his mercy, he arranges for the devotee to start hankering more and more for him and get out of the entanglement of the material energy. We all have seen how much frustrated we become. Our material plans, we make this plan, we make that plan, we have so many plans. And each of them just get frustrated one after the other. People disappoint us, or they cheat us, or they leave us, or they exploit us, or they do something or the other, and that plan comes to an end. Then we try something else, then we try something else, then we try something else. And either there is disappointment, or even if that thing comes to it is not very satisfying, or even if it comes, it gives so many problems. So like this, our material desires only give rise to more and more problems for us. But if we dovetail all our talents, our skills, our energies in serving the Lord, we will find that actually we are getting free of the material modes of nature, and we are getting situated more and more in our original blissful self, which is loving servitor of Krishna. Jivera Swarup Hoy Nityera Krishna Das. So any of the methods given by Prahlad Maharaj, Shravadam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atman Vedanam. The devotee can constantly try to remember the Lord, constantly try to chant his holy names, come together and discuss about the qualities of the Lord. And this is a very beautiful thing that devotees do, isn't it? When we all come together, we hold a class, we have kirtan, then we have nice prasadam, we start discussing about Krishna, and how much satisfaction there is. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha, mad chitta mad gat prana, odayantascha parasparam. Then what is the third line? Odayantascha parasparam, katayantascha mam nityam, tushyanti
Ramanti.
Yeah. 10:9 says, the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss by constantly enlightening one another and conversing about me. Such a beautiful verse it is, 10:9 of Bhagavad Gita, in which it is explained how devotees take such pleasure in discussing about the Lord, conversing about the Lord, talking about his beautiful form, talking about his beautiful pastime, talking about their realizations and experiences of being in Krishna consciousness. And this gives great satisfaction. And actually, this is the only satisfaction we as Jiva souls in the human body have. Really, there is no other satisfaction, because we are spiritual beings. And therefore, we can only find satisfaction in the spiritual energy. It is very difficult to, it's like trying for a fish to come out of the water and try to find pleasure being on the sand. Even if you give him a beautiful silken garment and a beautiful throne and a beautiful helmet and crown, he's going to be very unhappy because he's out of the water, isn't it? So similarly, we are in a very unnatural situation here in this material world. First and foremost, this is not our home. First and foremost, this is a very alien atmosphere. The spirit soul longs to be free, but here we are confined in this material body, which is giving us so much difficulty. The spirit soul wants to love unlimitedly, but we cannot love unlimitedly because we are hampered by so many restrictions. The spirit soul wants infinite happiness, but where is the happiness? But we can get happiness if we engage in the loving service of the Lord, because there we will find unlimited happiness. Anandam buddhi vardhanam, pratipadam purnamrita swadanam, sarvatma snapadam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. Here is where there is unlimited happiness. Here is where there is unlimited joy and bliss. And here is where there is satisfaction and peace. Material hankerings will only give us more and more trouble. Maya is very alluring. She presents something very alluringly. She presents as though, come, come, come. When you have this, you will become very happy. But then she doesn't deliver. She's like the carrot. And the poor donkey keeps thinking, okay, if I only grab the carrot, I'll become happy. But the carrot is ever out of reach. So Maya is like that. If only I get this degree, I will get a good job, I'll be happy. If only I marry this girl, then everything will be wonderful. If I only get this house, then everything will be great. And like this, so on, so on, so on. We have all gone through these situations. And what happiness they have brought. Even if they have brought some happiness, it is so temporary. Temporary, ephemeral, flickering, dissatisfying, that's the material energy. Therefore, Krishna says, a wise man does not take delight in the material pleasures. Instead, he looks for permanent happiness. That is also there in the Bhagavad Gita. I cannot remember the number, but which is that verse, Srimati? Do you recall which one I'm talking about? So the wise man does not, fifth chapter, I think. So the wise man does not delight in them. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end. So the wise man does not delight in them. I'm not able to recall the chapter of the Gita in which it is there. Maybe you can just Google it for us.
1 second, Mataji.
Yeah, you can try and find it. Yeah, and there the explanation is given that all material pleasures are ephemeral, transitory, fleeting, temporary, dissatisfying, and are gone. With the passage of time, they are all gone, finished.
Mataji, can you repeat that statement again?
Such pleasures have a beginning and an end. So the wise man does not delight in them.
Okay. Yes, Mataji, I'll search it 1 second.
Yeah. Take your time, no worries. So, on the other hand, spiritual happiness. Oh, thank you. Revati says it's 5:22. Thank you. So, therefore, once we come to this understanding that there is no happiness in the material energy, it's a waste of time, then we start engaging in loving service to Krishna and trying to connect with the source of all pleasure, all happiness, Krishna, through loving service. Because that is our original position. That is who we really are. There we go. Thank you. Beautiful verse. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So wise man does not want anything temporary because he knows it's coming to an end. See here, material sense pleasures are due to contact of the material senses, which are all temporary because the body itself is temporary. A liberated soul is not interested in anything which is temporary. Knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasures, how can a liberated soul agree to enjoy false pleasure? In the Padma Purana, it is said, and we just read this verse, the mystics derive unlimited transcendental pleasures from the absolute truth. And therefore, the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, is also known as Ram. Ram means supreme pleasure potency. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, 5:5:1, it is said, Nayam deho deha bhajam driloke kashtan kaman arhate vidbhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhayet yasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. My dear sons, there is no reason to labor very hard for sense pleasure while in this human form of life. Such pleasures are available to the stool eaters. Rather, you should undergo penances in this life by which your existence will be purified. And as a result, you will be able to enjoy unlimited transcendental bliss. Haribol! So you see over here that we want that unlimited transcendental bliss. And that comes from reconnecting with Krishna. And what is the best method of reconnecting? Reawakening a loving devotional service to Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You begin like that with the tongue. Sevan mukhehi divado. And then slowly, the love that is already there in our heart gets awakened more and more and more. And one fine day, we will be seeing Krishna face to face. And that is success. Haribol. So thank you all for listening patiently to this really nice verse. Yeah, I'm really thankful to all of you for being so patient. But my real gratitude and appreciation will go to each and every one of you if you will kindly give me feedback and give me your comments, your realizations, your corrections. That will be very nice. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for such a wonderful class, giving all the references. And we are definitely, we don't get satisfaction, or we feel not satisfied with something, but we want more and more of Krishna Katha. Definitely. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dear devotees, any questions or comments, please go ahead. So, Kava Mataji, you have unmuted.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our Guru Maharaj, and all glories to Sridevi Mataji. Hare Bol, and all the glories to Vaishnava present. It was really a lovely class.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to our wonderful Guru Maharaj, and all glories to my wonderful God family. Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol. Yeah, thank you so much. I was just wondering, how do we explain somebody about Krishna's passing away when Krishna's body is spiritual?
So we can explain to them that Krishna just enacts these pastimes. He's like the sun. Just because he appears from our side doesn't mean he's, finished. He's just gone to another universe to carry out his pastime. He's like the sun. Just as we see night, okay, it's night in India. Okay, now it is here, it's becoming very dark. But in your part, the sun is up, it is bright, right? So, sun has gone down, it is finished. No, it is rising in another universe, in another place. This is just Earth. So Krishna, who is unlimited, is performing so many pastimes in so many universes. So just because he disappeared from this world doesn't mean he's gone. He's gone to the sight of those who were fortunate enough to see him. But he is enacting his pastime somewhere else.
Yeah, but because he gets hit by the arrow of the man build sort of a personality. So I had a question like that how can Krishna gets an arrow? I told them the past times that this was the reason, and it was Krishna's wish to get that arrow in his toe, basically. But then they said that Krishna could have disappeared just like that. Then they normally other form of demigods do. They don't die, they just disappear. So why didn't Krishna disappear? Why did he have to have that arrow hit in his feet? I couldn't answer the question.
Good question. Why did he enact in that particular way? I too also will have to go a little deeper to understand, if I can understand how it is. Right at the top of my head, I cannot remember what transpired before, what transpired after. So please allow me to research a little bit, Sukhavaha. I don't want to but it's a very good question, because we must know the answer people. Let me look exactly. Then I will
Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. I was researching as well, and I found out the pastimes where there was a really good pastime. I don't know whether everyone is aware about that or not. That when Durvasa Muni came to Krishna's palace in Dwarka, Krishna wanted to serve him, and he was keep on asking. Krishna and Satyabhama was there, and they were asking, can we serve you in any ways? Can we serve you in any ways? And he said, no. It's fine. And middle of the night, he wakes Krishna up and says that, I want to eat sweet rice now. So Krishna asked, he has got loads of servants serving him. So he said that, okay, please make some sweet rice for Durvasa Muni. And do you know about this pastime, by the way? Sorry, I started saying the story, but it was so interesting. I found out.
Mataji,
So,
please go ahead.
yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So then Durvasa Muni said, no. I want Satyabhama and you to cook it for me. I don't want anyone else to cook it. So they had to clean themselves and cook the sweet rice for them. And then they brought it to Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni says, I don't want to eat this now. I want you to put it all over on your body, both of you. So they had to put that sweet rice on their body completely. They say, cover your body with that. And then they did it. And they said, okay, we did it. What shall we do now? And Durvasa Muni said, oh, now I want to go out, have a ride around your Dwarka. So let's go in the horse cart. And then Krishna said, okay, fine, ask for the horse cart to come out. Then when Durvasa Muni came and sat on the horse cart, he said, remove this horse out. And you ride the chariot and Satyabhama will be the horse. And Krishna was shocked. But there was no choice because they want to serve Durvasa Muni. So Satyabhama becomes the horse and she tries to pull the chariot. But it's very difficult because Krishna and the Durvasa Muni are sitting on the chariot, and pulling the chariot was not beyond his capacity. So she is trying and trying and trying and trying. And then finally she was so tired that she couldn't do it. And then Durvasa Muni says that, now I'm happy with you. Leave this. This is what you have served me so nicely and followed all the instructions I gave you, which was not even proper instructions I gave you, but you did it. So I'm so pleased with you too. So I'm giving you the blessings that your body will be protected completely. Nothing of this material world can happen to you where these sweet rices touch your body, basically. So because that applied to the whole body was protected from the material things. But Krishna specifically did not cover his feet. Because Krishna is like, he knows everything, what is going to happen. So he did not cover his feet. And that's why the arrow, that particular thing can be hit by the material object, which is the arrow. Apart from that, none of the Krishna's body would have been affected with in Mahabharata, like we can see so many arrows hit his body, but he was fine. Nothing happened to him. But only this particular part of his body was not covered with sweet rice, and that's why the arrow hit. So this was one of the pastimes. But I don't understand why did he accepted that.
Where is this pastime described, in which literature?
I can tell you, I've forgotten, but I will tell you the exact reference to that as well. It is, I think it is in the, I don't remember now. Sorry, I will tell you. I will find out, and I've got it written anyways. I'll give you the reference. So this was one of...
I've not heard of this pastime. It's not Bhagavatam. I've never come across, but Bhagavatam must be some other literature, right?
Yeah, it is. It wasn't Bhagavatam. No, it was not Srimad Bhagavatam. It was somewhere else. This is just, I think it's a Brahmapuram. Somewhere. I don't know. I heard it in the class, and then I was finding the references everywhere. Why is this? It's it makes. I still have got that thing in my mind that, oh my God, why this has happened? Why this has happened? So I was just searching all the things. And one of the places I found this pastime, which was so interesting, like how did that happen? But I will tell you, I will put it on the group as well, the reference for this particular pastime. Yeah, so this was one of the pastime. Another one, we know that Gandhari's curse was there on Krishna, isn't it? That everyone knows. After all her son died, Gandhari cursed him that, like, all your dynasty will die.
Yes.
And you will die as well, like, like the way you took my son away, like you have to die as well. So that was another one. But I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, Krishna performed so many different leelas with so many things, and all of them are enchanting.
It
So-
is actually.
Krishna can do anything.
Yeah, he can do anything, but there is
Unlimited
always a reason
Krishna.
behind it when he does something. That's what the reason I want to know. He does everything, I know, but even his smile, I think Guru Maharaj said that, isn't it? His smile has a reason as well. He does not smile without any reason. So I want to know, what was this reason? Why did he select this?
Why did he select this way? Okay.
This,
And when you find out, let us also know.
yeah, sure, I will. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that. Yeah. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments?
We have Shilpesh, we have Vishwapavani, we have Swaha, we have Prema Bhakti Prabhu, we have Janava, we have Alka, we have Brett, Revati, Scarlett, Tita Kirti, Shrivati, Raj, Rajavilasini. We have so many people on the call. Come on, everyone has to say something. I have speech first. Okay, that's fine. Revati.
Yeah. Hi, Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much for this very enlightening class. Yeah, as you said, like satiation for this hankering for the transcendental, this past tense of Krishna. We never get tired, in material world, one point we get tired. And also you were reading one thing, Mataji, in the purport, where also it mentioned like satiation for like, Lord's holy name, chanting. So we develop taste for hearing and also like reading and all that, but how can we develop same hankering for chanting?
Yeah, very good question. I'm also trying to develop some taste for chanting here because we don't have taste, avidya. Our tongues are coated with avidya. So many millions of lifetimes, we have turned away from Krishna. We don't want to glorify him. We don't want to please him. We don't want to serve him. It's me. We are in me mentality. I have to please myself. I have to satisfy myself. I have to carry out my plans. It's all about me. But spiritual life is not about me. It's about Krishna. And therefore, we still are like, patients in the ward, in the hospital. We are still getting cured of that material disease. We still are mixed devotees. We are not pure devotees yet. So, energy or shadi maya, nasi baro lagi, hari nama mahamantra, lao tumi magi. This is the only medicine. Just like for a jaundiced person, sugar candy doesn't taste sweet, but the cure is sugar candy. So therefore, the person is encouraged to eat in spite of having jaundice. So similarly, even though we have no taste for the holy name, we are encouraged, you still chant. Because by chanting, you will get the taste. Little by little, by little, by little, avidya will disappear and we will start getting sweet taste for the holy name. It is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. But by carefully, attentively, focused chanting of the holy name, slowly, we will get a taste. Of course, the whole process is involved. That means carefully following the orders of Guru, carefully sticking to the rules and regulations of spiritual life, not, strictly following the regulative principles. Everything is involved. It's not just one thing. And then slowly we will get the taste. What helps is early morning chanting. We chant our rounds early in the morning in the Brahma Muhurta hours. After saying the prayers in the morning, Guru Ashtakam, Lord Nrsimhadev, Tulsi Puja, if we do that simple preparation of the mind, then we can chant in a focused, attentive way. And when we chant in a focused, attentive way, our anarthas start disappearing. Once our anarthas start disappearing, slowly taste starts appearing. So it's a stage by stage thing. As we persist, we will get better at it.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. As Guru Maharaj was telling, it should happen naturally. So right now we are struggling. So yeah, the blessings of Guru Maharaj will happen naturally one day.
Yeah. You have to keep going, not give up. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Please
Mat-
pray for me to get some taste too.
Your blessings to us, Mataji. We need your blessings. Yeah, thank you.
We all need each other's blessings and mercy. Every one of us is struggling. This material world is a very hard place, you know, and the association of Vaishnavas can save us.
Mm. Yes, Mataji. And another thing, Mataji, if I can share, like,
Yeah, please.
Mataji was asking about why Lord Krishna was killed by a hunter. I don't remember, but I remember I was reading like last canto somewhere where I don't remember exactly, but it's like loss of karma. Krishna wanted to make us understand like how loss of karma works. So as Mataji said, Gandhari's curse. So we want, even though whatever it is, if we do any karma, we need to go through that. So through that pastime, Krishna wanted to say the loss of karma works like that. We will get, we have to go through that karma in one way or the other. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Raj Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to the wonderful devotees.
Please
Thank you
accept
for your
obeisances, Raj
wonderful-
Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, and all glories to the wonderful devotees.
Thank you, Sridevi Mataji, for your inspiring talk on the unlimited beauty, the unlimited qualities, the unlimited pleasure from Lord Sri Krishna and his unlimited forms, and how he sometimes gives tiny glimpse just to encourage devotees to keep going on the path. But sometimes he feels like that's not a very nice way of doing it. It can be a little bit cruel, because it's almost like he's teasing you, saying, like holding this delicious sweet in front of you, and then you're going, oh, I really, really want that. And he snatches it away from you, as you have to wait. And then you go off and do something to try and progress further. And then he holds it again in front of you, waving it in front of you, and you go, no, I want it. And then he snatches it away again. And it feels like you just keep on going closer, but he keeps going further away because he's snatching the sweet away from you every single time. And you wonder if the day will ever come where you actually get to take that sweet.
Wow, you're having some very special experiences with Krishna that I have never heard of. So Krishna is giving you some very special mercy, I think, because for at least for me, I'm just plodding on and on and on without any hope of getting any sweet. At least you're getting a glimpse of a sweet. So I don't know what to say, Prabhu. This is maybe some very special arrangement Krishna is making to draw you closer to him. I think you need to check with Guru Maharaj about all these experiences, because I'm not in a position to speak about, anything so elevated.
You must have had experiences where, say, you're looking at the Lord and you're getting great pleasure just from looking at the Lord. And then suddenly something happens and you're broken away from that. And then you want it back again, but it doesn't come back so easily.
Well, I don't know that, I've had such a deep, I'm just a middle of the road kind of a person. I'm just a average person, not so elevated. So maybe Krishna doesn't give me all these exotic, esoteric experiences that you are privy to, honestly. I don't believe that I've had any such experience where I've felt, oh, Krishna is giving me something and then suddenly disappearing or taking it away. I haven't honestly had any such experience. Maybe I'm very dull-minded.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments?
Everybody's silent and everybody's hiding behind the cameras. Can we have people come on?
Yeah.
And beautiful faces, please. Instead of hiding behind the camera. There's Shilpesh Prabhu. There's Alka Mataji. Finally, I get to see you all. Rajavilasini, Haribol. Shilpesh Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji's. These are some humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. I kind of know what Raj Prabhu is talking about. Like when I started.
These are mine. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev.
When I started my journey in Krishna consciousness, quite miraculous things happened. I can only explain this like Krishna being a sweet shop owner, he's handing out the sweets for free. But then he also pulled those things away very quickly, actually. And some ways because there was lessons to be learned. And in some ways it was to protect us as well. And then I spoke to Godruma Prabhu at the manor, who's a senior devotee. And he said, Krishna's like that. Sometimes to get you enticed, he gives you the sweets for free. But then you have to earn the money through our practice of sadhana to get the sweets yourself from him. So that's kind of like my understanding of this. And yeah, I have had those kind of experiences. Yeah, I mean, Krishna, miraculous things happen once you're a devotee. Definitely, I've experienced that. People come into your life out of nowhere. But then they can also be taken away just as quickly. That's what I found as well sometimes. And there's always a reason for it. We don't always understand why. And maybe later on we can connect the dots. But I think Maharaj said that as well, like, we can't always understand why things will happen. And we shouldn't really draw too much of trying to figure it out, but just carry on with our chanting and sadhana. That's my understanding.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It is true that in the beginning, Krishna will give you wonderful experiences and really give you something that you can never forget, just to give you a taste for, how sweet that relationship is. And he does that to entice you to come towards him. It's like when you go to a, supermarket, they have these little cups of something saying, here, please have this for taste. But if you want to buy the whole bottle, then you have to pay the full price. That's when he says, all right, you want the whole deal, then you have to pay the price. So he does that. Initially, he gives you a lot of very sweet rasgullas to taste and enjoy. And then if you want the whole meal, he says, join the Hare Krishna movement. Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm just closing all the windows because the mosquitoes are starting to come. Please keep going.
Well, what do you think about that, Raj? Or what do you think about what I just said?
Yeah, I kind of feel like that I can relate it to what the Sridevi was talking from the Bhagavatam, where he's giving you something and then taking it away so that you increase your hankering for it.
Interesting.
Maybe. And that's what the words in the Bhagavatam said anyway.
Maybe you can write to Guru Maharaj about your experiences and gain some direction and guidance about it.
Mm.
That would be nice.
You know, like this morning, I was looking at Lord Jagannath, but I could only physically see Lord Jagannath because that's who I was looking at. But internally, I could only see Lord Narasimhadeva. And
Yeah.
then when I was chanting a mantra, I was very, very careful about chanting every word, every syllable, Hare Krishna, etc. But all I could see was Narasimhadeva. I couldn't see Krishna in his two-handed form. I could only see Narasimhadev.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
the way through the 16 rounds, I only saw Narasimhadeva.
Yes, yes, that's beautiful. And that can happen. Devotees have had that experience where they have looked at Lord Jagannath and they've seen Narshikadev, or they've looked at Lord Narshikadev and seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that. It's just Krishna's way of showing, I am the same in different forms. And Lord Narshikadev wanted to give you his darshan in that form, in that way. That's very special. And that's really wonderful.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing that. Dear devotees, any more comments or realizations you want to share? Mataji, I think.
No more questions, no more
Yeah.
comments. We can end the call, no problem.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, once again, for taking up this service today. Thank you, all devotees. And tomorrow is Bhakti Sangha's Charlotte devotees class, and Guru Maharaj will be there. And the timings are, it's like we'll be going a little bit like prior to this class. The timing is 7:20 a.m. Eastern time. That is 12:20 p.m. UK time. So for India, it will be like 4:50, I think, 4:50 p.m. Yeah, 7:20 a.m. Eastern time. Yes. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. HG Sridevi
Thank you so
Dasi
much.
ki jai. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.